Today I want to talk about influence. 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 For you to be a royal priesthood, you have to be a man or a woman, a lady of influence. Paul's influence is very powerful. Influence is the agenda of God upon the church. Influence is what happens when you are a proper leader. Leadership has nothing to do with just position. Leadership has all to do with what I call functionality. Be fruitful, now you are being commanded. Multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. 5 things. So you are created, Stacy, for influence, for leadership, to walk in a place of authority. Now listen to this. Now you will think, now what do you mean there is a leader, somebody to influence? Because the leadership is not necessarily against people. The leadership, God did not make you a leader of a people. I'll explain that. You are supposed to master a particular field, and automatically it makes you to have influence. Because what I'm about to communicate is very powerful. So, we are called to leadership. We are called to have influence. So, when you have influence, then position comes to confirm the influence that you have. It is your functionality that dictates your position, or rather attracts position, or the benefits attached. There is something that is given to you by God that you may dominate. Now, until you do it, it means there is something that the kingdom is losing. There is something that God has placed upon each and every one of you. And your number one assignment is to discover you. And when you discover you, done, and master you, and play out you, this world has to beg you. Work is who you are. Job, you can be fired from, Becky. Work, you can never be fired from work. A job, you can retire from a job. Work, you can't retire from working. When God told the bird to fly, that is equivalent when he told man to work. Because work should be as good and as easy as a bird flies, as a fish swims. But we have been brought up in a system that is killing the work in you and making you just a staff, an employee. And therefore, you kill influence and leadership inside of you to dominate a particular jurisdiction, because the system has compelled you to be an employee. So you spend the rest of your life training on how to become an employee. It's an error, it's a mistake, and it's making you to suffer. Because the intention of God was greater than that. Because in the education system, there are what we call failures. So some of you have been defining their lives based on the results they received in Form 4. And both sides are losing. The ones that passed, they thought now having an A is a guarantee of success in life. And then they come down to life and they realize all they did in life was to become employees, and then the government says there's no employment, they are stranded. So the ones that failed, they believed the report and they know they are failures. So whenever you try to communicate to them that you are a leader, have dominion here on earth, they are saying, oh, you're speaking Greek. You're communicating a language they cannot understand. But the reason as to why I'm here, Paul, I'm rectifying that error.